I'm Jill Schlesinger, editor-at-large.
And I'm Jack Otter, executive editor.
Well, according to today's Wall Street Journal, executive pay has dropped in 2009 by 0.9%. That follows a 3.4% decline in 2008. This is reversing a multi-decade rise in comp. Is this a trend we're likely to see continue? Well, Jack, on the same day the Wall Street Journal comes out, we have an article in the New York Times which says some folks are doing quite well. Who's doing well?
These are the hedge fund managers. They don't really report to boards. They just make a whole lot of money and they keep a big chunk of it for themselves. They're gambling. And these guys won last year.
And so they got paid a bunch of money. But it's a small section of people who we're talking about. We're talking about all the publicly traded companies, who made what. And while comp did decline, the average compensation for a publicly traded company is nearly $7 million a year. So we don't have to feel so bad for them, right?
Well, no, and they've been making more and more and more money for 2 decades now. And in fact, of course, the distance, the multiple between what the lowest or even the average employee of their companies are making versus what they are making has been on a constant expansion, which worries a lot of economists. And even that 7 million number, of course, is that the median or the average? It hides the outliers. The chief executive officer of Occidental Petroleum made $52 million, and his stock went up about 7% last year.
We also see a guy, though, on the other side. This is Charles Ergen from Dish Network. His comp went down by 92%. Okay, so that's a big number. But the interesting thing that I thought was kind of cool here is that his comp went down, but the performance of the stock was up. And this is something that people have been talking about, not only the pays are, but a lot of people who are investors, they say, why don't we link the executive compensation to the performance of the stock? Is that happening?
That's a radical idea, Jill.
Crazy.
Why did you come up with that? I think it's happening a little bit. I mean, first of all, there's a shame factor. You know, a few of these companies saw what was happening to everybody else in the country, and so I think they've reined it in a little bit. I mean, if you're selling a product and your customers think, this is an outrageous pay package that the CEO is getting while everyone else is desperately trying to get work, that could hurt your business. So I think that's a little bit of what's happening here. But pay for performance is slowly becoming the standard. I hope in the future it becomes more the standard.
So do you think that this is a trend that we are going to see continue? Will executive compensation change? We've had these 2 extraordinary years. As you said, it sort of reverses a trend of a couple of decades. So is this good news, or how do we take away from this?
I think of it as a marginal improvement in terms of relating salary to what these guys are actually doing, bonuses to actually exceeding goals. I don't think we're going to see a major change. I think as of this year, salaries will start ticking up again, and that this reversal will be a rare event.
Wow, that's a pretty brutal reality check, but it is a reality check. So when you read about executive compensation changes, maybe think to yourself, this could be temporary. That's what Jack says. That's your reality check. Thanks for watching.